The main topic of this year's Cybersec is dealing with cyber disruption. What does it mean to you?
Well, disruption is a word that can be used in two ways. On the one hand, it can be an example of innovation, changing the existing order, challenging things that have become maybe rooted in cement and creating opportunities for new developments. On the other hand, disruption also can be bad. It can disrupt the lives of people. There are people who get left behind when there's disruptive change. And we see some of that in the social tension that's evident in a number of countries now around the world. So disruption is a process that can be valuable, but we have to manage the fallout.
And are we able to prevent the spread of terrorism in cyberspace, and how to do it?
Well, I think there are a couple of ways we can look at the issue of terrorism in cyberspace. One is actually having a terrorist attack engaged in by somebody using cyber as the attack vector. Now, we haven't really seen that, but I think part of what we're trying to do with hardening our critical infrastructure and developing cyber defenses is preventing somebody from actually mounting a cyber attack that would be disruptive or destructive. The other issue we see, though, is recruitment over the internet. And that's where people are actually induced to become terrorists because they're groomed over the internet. They may even be trained or inspired over the internet. And there, I think we do need to push back against that, although we also have to recognize that we don't want to impinge on free speech, even when we disagree with ideas that are being propagated. So I think there's a line between advocacy of ideas that may be disturbing and actually inciting violence or recruiting violence, which ought to be made illegal.
And how should we react in case of cybercrime while nurturing the values of democratic states?
Well, I think cybercrime, like any other crime, should be punished in accordance with the law. And the challenge with cybercrime is often the perpetrators are in another country, and it's difficult to get hold of them and bring them before a court. And I think that's an area where more international cooperation in identifying, arresting, and charging and trying cyber criminals would be to the benefit of the entire global community.
And how do you assess Cybersec 2017 in terms of organization and importance of this event in Europe and globally?
Well, this has been a very well-attended event. I gather almost twice as many people came this year as last year. There's a fascinating range of topics. We've had the opportunity to hear from the Prime Minister of Poland and also from the Chief of Staff to the President, which is very high-level participation. And I think everybody here is engaged with a wide variety of the challenges that cybersecurity issues present for Europe and the globe in general.